And we're live.
Hey! How you guys doing? Welcome back. It's David here for my next rant. The rant worked out great last week, so we're going to just continue that. But first, a note from our sponsors. No, wait, we don't have a sponsor. Do we have a sponsor? Well, I think we're our own sponsor. So there's that. All right, I'm going to get some news out of the way to talk about both our school and here at CQ. So we are working on a new slot channel. Lots of Keno for those of you who enjoy Keno. And we are evolving our space here. We're adding poker. So if you're interested in learning some poker, we have a World Series of Poker dealer, which on its own rant doesn't really say a lot. He's actually a fantastic poker dealer, poker instructor. And the fact that you has dealt World Series of Poker is kind of less a thing for those of you who have been in that series. But let's just say he's a very good poker dealer. Okay, we should say thank you, of course, to Dennis. Dennis is on the box. Should we call that the box, buddy? You work in the box. What do you call that?
Anyways, I'm going to completely ignore what you just said and
really
say to Michael, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing, Michael? Well, what do they call where you're sitting in? What you guys are doing over there? That's like the technical room.
Well, if this was like a professional setup, it would be a TriCaster, but it's not really.
Oh, a TriCaster. Yeah, I would never know that. Okay. So in other news, it's flipping cold out there, which is got cold really quick in Vegas. So if you're coming to Vegas, bring a jacket or a sweater. Something along this line. The other kind of most obvious news is tons of jobs. We're going to talk about that as well because that's part of the rant on whether or not Vegas is coming to an end. There's a lot of talk about a recession. Clearly, a lot of people are nervous, even those here in Vegas. You know, sometimes when a recession hits, people choose not to spend any of their disposable income. They're too busy going to the supermarket and having to gas up at $6 a gallon. And so, they might miss a few blackjack games, a few crap sessions, maybe a Keno machine here or there, although Keno is kind of the next bar.
How are we on Keno? Dude, isn't this about how, Vegas is in trouble?
Yeah, Vegas is in trouble. Keno's the win, dude. Keno, it's for the win. Keno is for the win. Okay, another thing we are working on is a transportation hub. So guess what? We're working on a white glove valet service for all of our Casino Quest fans, followers, and customers. And if you, we are gonna have more news about that, but we're working on getting a few vehicles. And I don't know if any of you remember, and one of the very first rants I have is some years ago. This is sort of a carryover from last week's rant. Some years ago, one of the hotels, I won't mention it, may or may not have rhymed with MGM, used to have a reservation desk at McCarran, or what's now, it's been renamed, Senator Reed, it's been renamed. But, so one of the biggest complaints I've always gotten from many players is that it just takes so long. The time, you get off your plane, you get into a taxi, Uber, whatever the case is, you go to your hotel, then you wait in line for an hour, 2 hours. Even if you're VIP sometimes, you really got to wait. And then you make your way slowly up to your room. Meanwhile, like 4 hours have passed, and you're really itching to gamble, and you can't gamble, or you can't do the things you want to do because a lot of your initial time is spent just making your way from the airport to your hotel room, finally. Well, we aim to fix that. So our goal is to create a service where we pick you up, completely a white glove service, like almost as if you're a VIP. You're our VIP. So we pick you up at the airport, we take care of your luggage, all you have to do is jump in the car and we whisk you off to your room. And ideally, we want to work with the concierge desk and kind of facilitate this whole exchange so you don't have to wait in line, you don't have to spend the first 4 or 5 hours of your vacation transitioning from the airport to your room to a table. And that's one of the features really that Vegas, has missed. Those of us that came to Vegas many years ago, it wasn't such an ordeal, and now of course it is an ordeal. So anyways, transportation hub, a white glove transportation service is coming. Not just a car, waiting for you. A lot of people, they hire a limousine service out here, and the thing shows up and it's got a dent, or maybe it needs some gas. I don't know, man. Some of them look a little lame. But there you go. What else do we got, buddy? We got any more news?
We don't have any more news, but we got 2 super chats. We got Mimo gave us $2.
Who?
Mimo.
Mimo?
Anyways, don't worry about it. $2.
$2.
He
Fantastic,
said,
thank you.
Mimo says hi to all. Yo,
Hello.
See you soon.
Yes, see you.
Floral Axis Sumbro gave us $10.
Floral
Said,
Axis, thank you.
Let all the work the box and hit that like button.
Yeah, work that. Hey, by the way, I don't know which one of you have we tracked down this hat owner? So someone won a hat and then was thankful that we hadn't sent it and said to us, "Hey, would you guys all sign it?" Which we did. And then we need their address because we obviously don't know where they live. Dennis was going to take it to their house, but there you go. But no, okay. But here it is. We have a hat that's signed by everybody, and if we don't hear back from this person, I'm assuming we should just give it away in this podcast. So just as a reminder, if you win anything from us, please give us your address because we kind of need that. We may or may not know you, and so we'll send you this. So at some point, if we don't hear back from that person during this podcast, we're going to give away this hat. And if you don't want a hat that's signed for us, we got a whole bunch of other stuff, but we'll work on that as well. All right, let's get to the big questions of the day. I first want to get to some of the news and some of the big news because that'll give us a sense of really what's going on in Vegas. And are you ready? Can I just keep going? I'm just going to go. I'm just going to get out
before
there.
you go, let me just get these super chats out the way.
Go.
And then, so Coin.
Thank you so much, by the way.
So Coin Pusher, otherwise known as Alan Toy, says, does that white glove service help transportation with my 1K in pennies to deliver to Grandpa Kino videos?
No, that's what they call the suck it move. You're going to have to pay to upgrade that one, dude.
And then we got Gary.
That's true. Hey, can I just say that my little story attached to that? So listen, Mr. Coin Pusher, buddy. Okay, Coin Pusher sent me bags. He says, like, yeah, listen, I'm going to send you some copper. And so we're like, it couldn't be delivered to our address. They actually told us, and they're like, yeah, some idiot sent you all these bags of copper. I won't mention who that is. So we go down to the, the post office, and oh my God, that poor lady, dude, she couldn't believe it. I don't think she had something. They're so heavy. Anyways, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you out here in Vegas soon.
The other super chat is from Gary Benson. Said, love the content and info and stories. Thank you so much for the $10.
By the way, we got, believe it or not, we're very filtered on YouTube. We're unfiltered on Patreon for the most part. We're filtered to the point where we're not going to get canceled at any given minute.
Oh my God. Anyways, let's get back to the topic. What's the news going on here in Vegas today?
There's a lot of big news. So we got word today. We have some really fantastic news that we can't tell you. I'm itching to tell you. I'm very itchy. We had a really fantastic day today, but I can't tell you. We're still waiting to work out some details. But I think a lot of people, if you're on the fence about coming to Vegas, we're gonna have some really cool news for everybody. Lots of opportunity here is coming down the pike, and that's one of the reasons why we feel like some of what's going on is as far as the recession, we're not feeling it quite yet. I know it's coming, and that's what we're going to talk about all that today, and we're going to get down to business. Okay, are you ready? I mentioned the transportation thing, no? Yeah, 100%.
You did.
All right, I can move on. So here's what I will say. I'm going to start with the most obvious thing about Vegas. Something that's been going on in the news. We've been hearing about different things that go on in Vegas when it comes to crime. And I went ahead and I was going to go and look at some of I started looking at some of the statistics. There's no win here, and I think that everybody's experiencing, most urban cities, large cities are experiencing upticks in crime. People just seem to be a little more angry than usual. I know there's a lot going on out there, nothing to laugh about really, but I will say this, we have the Strip is by and large a very safe place to be, and most of the incidents you hear about are between people who know each other, having issues. I'm not sure what those issues are because I wasn't there to witness it, but, if you come out to Vegas and you're looking just to have a good time and you're with other people looking to have a good time, I don't see what the issue is. And of course, there's a lot of common sense. Like, when you go out at night or you're walking down the Strip, try not to take the big, fat, take me purse, you know what I mean? Take a smaller something or other with you, just with the things that you need. They have these body straps that you can wear to put your money in. Do what you can to not be such a target. And I personally have not heard of anyone having to deal with a lot of the issues that have been going on. We have like all other cities, there's been catalytic converters taken and those kinds of things. But for the most part, I feel like Vegas is a relatively safe place. You know, if you live in a neighborhood where there's, you know, crime, well, there's crime there. That's the neighborhood, you know, and you know, kind of it is what it is. But this is not a subject I can really address, so we're going to get right to water. We're going to get to water. We're going to talk about the water because that seems to be that's a big issue. We're going to get to the investment, the news, and the recession here in a minute, but first, and then the rant. I'm going to go full rant. If you're with me last week, I had a bit of a delay in discussing honestly what I wanted to talk about because I feel like. You know, we have a school. We have a responsibility to the partners here in town, the community here in town. So we don't want to necessarily talk a lot of crap about them. But you know what? What are you gonna do? I mean, we're just gonna move on from that, and David's just gonna be honest and you know, just go full rant. And so there we go. All right. I know we'll get that out of the way, but if we get canceled, we get canceled. What are you gonna do? Okay. So one of the things that a few people have talked about when we were out here is that the fact that Lake Mead is drying up and we're running out of water, which is true. Lake Mead is really dry. Those poor docks are moved like about every 6 months further and further inland. You know, in you know, the water keeps seeping away. There's not a lot of water, but the truth is that we use very little of Lake Mead. So Las Vegas itself, or Clark County, has banked an 8 years of water credit with Lake Mead. So most of that water actually goes to Southern California and Arizona by far, like 80 to 90% of it. The rest of it, we get a little bit, but even if it dried up completely, the biggest issue for us is power, not exactly the water, because the dam itself provides a lot of power and the fact that there's water moving through that. But beyond that, here's a pretty amazing statistic because believe it or not, there's not a lot of farming that goes on. We're not growing almonds and, you know, these kinds of things out here. We're pretty much just focused on the gambling. So there's not a lot of farming, and maybe there are some people out there growing some lettuce in their backyard, but for the most part, you won't see a lot of fields. Maybe some pot fields. I'm not sure. I've seen some of the big, you know, pot things, but for the most part, not a lot of farming. But 99% of the water that we use is returned, is literally recycled, which on its own, if you think about that for a minute, it could be a little gross actually. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even your, you know, disposable water, this kind of thing, just comes right back to us. You know what I mean? We pee one place and we drink it out the other place, right, Dennis? Yeah, what do you think, buddy? Dennis is having a fantastic hair day, so other things are on his mind right now.
Well, that's actually not on my mind. I was reading the chat while you were talking.
Oh, you're working on the chat. Oh, okay. Anything good in the chat? Do we have anything? Is Alan still with us?
Well, we have 2 more super chats. We have Gus.
Gus,
gave us,
how you doing, Gus?
$5.
Oh, thank you,
So just
sir.
to let you know, the chaps have made it home safely.
Oh.
Thanks for the Rodman story.
Oh yeah, the Rodman story. Yeah, you got to get that live. The real, true. Yeah.
VA crap shooter said very itchy. They probably have a cream for that.
No, yeah, a lot of cream.
But anyways, let's get back to the news.
Get back
to the news. Energy.
Okay.
Water.
So there's no issue with the water, dude. Don't scare yourself. You know, I remember many years ago when they built, you know, Bellagio. Oh my God, the fountains. They find a way to recycle all that water. We lose very little to evaporation. It's really just about the pools, and now they limited the pools. So if you come to Vegas, you're looking to build a new house. Guess what? You can't have like a pool the size of the Bellagio fountains, kind of thing. But apart from that, we're doing pretty well. All right, I'm jumping over. The next slide was the crime slide. Let's just jump over the crime slide. Let's not talk about crime right now. Let's move on to investment and jobs and. Oh my God! Look at all these little. Oh, this is. I'm on the wrong.
Don't get distracted by your own
well,
notes.
I'm boomering myself because I took all these notes, and now, oh my God! You ever anybody my age get to their phone and their phone, like, you know, is a little bastard, and yeah, people. There's a lot of people out there relating to exactly what's going on right here. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna move on. So part of the news and part of why Vegas is going to do very well throughout the recession, I feel, even though there's going to be some speed bumps, I'm going to talk about that just as our business. So we have 2 businesses, right? We have a school that services, you know, people who want to become a dealer. So, you know, it's a trade school. We're trying to, you know, educate people and then help them get jobs. So we're in that part of it. And then we're also on the player side. So interestingly, over the course of the last couple of years, one of the businesses has tended to do a little better than the other, kind of off and on. So the months sometimes that Casino Quest isn't doing as well, the school will do better. And it's quite something when people have been, when the economy seems to take a little bit of a dip, or people start to get nervous about where the money's coming from, they show up at the school, but you won't see quite as many players at Casino Quest. And strangely enough, which is amazing, we've been around now for 3 years. Those of us that follow you, we had some fans here the other day that have been with us from the very beginning. Alan Toy, of course, is one of those. Snapper, a few guys out there. And it's quite stunning that we're still here. And we're still growing. So that's good. Okay. So I had a slide, but I haven't shared it with Dennis. So let me just kind of go over some of the really big things that are coming to the Strip in the very near future. And I have a feeling, these are really smart people, you would hope, with their hand on really big purse strings. In the next couple of years, a lot of investment is going to be made on the Las Vegas Strip or near the Las Vegas Strip. But the few biggest ones I want to talk about first is, near the Strip, I would say, is Durango Station, which is going to service the southwest area. It's a brand new station casino. So you may have heard Texas Station and Fiesta Rancho and Fiesta Henderson. They were closed. They used to service the local community. All three of those properties were closed. And you would think on the surface that was a lot of jobs that were lost because they were Texas Station, especially Fiesta Henderson. They were pretty good sized casinos. But the net gain in jobs here in Las Vegas has been outstanding because of the growth of properties, the number of people that have been coming to Vegas. Gambling on its own as a category has grown significantly over the last couple of years. In fact, the win here in Las Vegas, it has been through the roof. We had a record gambling win last year in Vegas, which, if you've heard a few of my rants, a part of that is because players are getting squeezed from every side of that equation, which really kind of really has sucked, at least for our player base. But it's translated to investment and other companies eager to make investments. So for those of us that lost our ass and contributed to the investment that's coming down the pipe, congratulations and thank you for your contribution to Las Vegas. But all right, so let's do this. Let's go over. So Durango Station, $750 million property, and Station Casinos itself is looking to add quite a few more properties. The Texas Station, they're going to let those go, but they're making investments in other areas of the valley and expanding the opportunity both for people that need jobs just in general, and of course for dealers, players, this kind of thing. So expect to see maybe 6 more Station Casinos over the course of the next couple of years. Then you have the Dream that's opening on the south side of the Strip towards the Luxor, a $550 million boutique casino with the casino space, rooms, things like that. We've already talked about kind of the nature of these properties and what they entail. But then you have the Fontainebleau, which is back in place or is back in the mix. It became the Drew. For those of you following that, you've seen this half-built property, right very close to us, right across from Resorts World. And it's sat like that since 2008, I believe, is when they started to build it. They almost finished it, and then it went unfinished. The funding dried up. That was the first recession we had. And now going into this new recession potentially, or people are talking about it. It's not a foregone conclusion, although most people think that's what's going to happen. But Fontainebleau is expected to open in 2023. And it's $1 billion project that's expected to. It's a beautiful casino floor. So some of the renderings that have been done are fantastic. In fact, some of the retail space is the highest per square foot leases I've seen personally here on the Las Vegas Strip. They brought in this real famous designer. Everything is beautiful and finished. So expect some very, very high-end retailers in that space, like the kind of retailers they have. And me and Dennis. Was it you, buddy? Actually, it's Timmy. Those of you who remember Timmy. Timmy, you out there? Hi, buddy. We, if you've gone to the Crystal shopping, so in City Center, you'll notice a few stores. There's one store in there that literally has one item in the middle of the floor. Literally just one. That's all they got to do. They got to sell that one item. Done. Finished. Isn't that what a business model, dude? Huh? What we need to do is we'll open a store. We'll put Dennis in the middle. Done. Finished.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So Fontainebleau is coming. Okay, this is all 2023, by the way. Then you have the MSG Sphere, also supposed to be coming in 2023. Originally, it was slated to open 2021. The cost of stuff went up. People disappeared. There was that pandemic that many of you know about, and so now it's been pushed back to 2023. But also a really fantastic, amazing destination. I can't wait. I would love to do just a podcast. I'm so excited about the MSG Sphere more than anything else that's coming to Vegas. I'll be quite honest with you. It just sounds so flipping cool. There's so much interesting tech. And even for those older, I don't hear so well anymore, and I hear like the audio is going to be fantastic. Stream right to your chair. You won't have to like peer in or raise your hearing aid. You'll be able to just enjoy whatever the hell they got going on there. You know what I mean? We're going to love that, dude. That's going to be fantastic. Oh, okay. The next thing is, we might have a new MLB team. We might Oakland A's. That's not a big secret. They've been looking around, kicking the tires as they were, looking at some properties. I wish I had some news about that. And I think most people are settled in this idea that they're coming because, Vegas is a great destination. They would stand to make a lot more money here. Baseball, of course, has a lot more games in their season. So I think it'd be a very attractive fit. I just don't know where the hell everybody's going to park. And if they're looking at putting it across the Tropicana, wow, holy crap. The south end of the strip is going to be real busy for a lot of the year. I wouldn't touch it with a stick, but we'll see. I really hope that they put it off strip a little bit and give people a reason to mull around somewhere else. But you never know. Obviously, the Tropicana could use some love in the way of a new MLB team in a stadium.
Oh, my God.
Not so much love as it is like a excavator. You know what I mean? No, we love the Trop. The Trop is fantastic. As I'm not bitter. I went and auditioned there, I don't know, about 20 times while I was a dealer, and they always told me to suck it and pound the pavement. But they were very honest with me. They let me know that I had very little juice. I had no shot in hell. Okay, then you have, if you've been following Vegas, if you open the papers, we have the other Fertitta. I think he's a cousin, but Tillman Fertitta, the guy that owns, the steakhouses, the Golden Nugget. I think he owns a trucking company. He was actually on a reality show for a minute. And he just bought the area. Those of you familiar with where the Harley-Davidson Cafe is on the Las Vegas Strip in Harmon. So kind of catty corner to City Center, really just across the street from City Center. He bought that whole property for a ton of cash, and he is now looking to make an investment of $1 billion. In fact, just today not just today, but just today in the news, they were talking about how the excavation and the demolition is going to start taking down, the cafe. There was also like old travel lodge there, which would kind of be missed, man. I got some stories about that travel lodge, dude. Yeah. Back in the day, if you were young, didn't have a whole lot of money, not a credit card, that kind of thing, and you didn't want people asking a whole lot of questions, that was the place. Oasis was also a good destination, which that's gone too, by the way, because the convention center. But anyways, I digress. So incredible, lots of amazing investments being made. Now, apart from the Las Vegas Strip, so let's say you're someone who really isn't looking to come to the Strip and work, and you're not in the hospitality corridor, there's also a ton of jobs and a ton of investment being made all over the county. So interestingly, Clark County, or where we are now, is pretty much like a center, like a pivot point. If you're going to service Southern California, Northern Arizona, going up into Utah, this kind of thing. And so there's lots of distribution centers that have built, a lot of manufacturing that's built. We have access to and some of the most affordable energy rates. So as far as power goes, of course, and like I said, there's no shortage of water. So the LA already took all our water, dude. Southern California already nabbed all the water. If Lake Mead goes belly up, it's LA that's going to be crying, not Vegas. Maybe all those people will move here. I'm not sure, although that might not be the best thing. But yeah. So if you're looking to stay off the Strip, and you just want to do like a staycation on the Strip, but you want to live somewhere else, lots of opportunity there. All right. So the other I think the real pressing issue is housing. So housing here in Las Vegas has become a bit dicey. Years ago, it was always cheap to come to Vegas. The rents were cheap. There were lots of apartments, lots of homes, lots of people, down on their luck, who owned houses, who needed to rent out a spare bedroom, like desperately, like really, really badly. And that's not as much a thing anymore. A lot of corporations have come in and bought these houses, and they're renting them out at a premium. Even the weeklies now are expensive. Even the one where you can do a line of Coke on your entrance. Did I mention that? No. By the way, there's some weeklies, no matter how much they cost. So if you're looking for temporary housing here in Vegas, and you see what looks like a smoking hot deal. It's a smoking hot deal because it comes with a lot of other deals that you can make while you're there. Just so you know, okay? So it's really not. So if you want to avoid that and you show up, and if you even think, if you show up and you look around and you say to yourself, might not be the place for me, it's not the place for you, don't do it. It's not worth it. So I will say that. But on a good note, rents are coming down. Housing prices are starting to come down quite considerably. And so rents, they expect rents now to get back into something that's more tenable for the rest of us. So that's a thing. And that's where I'm really hoping to see the casinos. So that's one of the things. I'm actually really excited about the recession, just so you know. I'm very excited about the recession. From where I am sitting, because recession is, I think, a great thing for players. Those of you who are still anxious to come to Vegas, if you're still employed, let's hope you're still employed, and you're looking to come to Vegas, I really think a recession is going to make Vegas, more competitive, all these things. And we're going to get to that in a minute. All right, I'm going to give Dennis a second here. What do you got, buddy?
No, keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'll interrupt you when I need to.
All right, well, because this is a good time to interrupt you because I'm boomering my own flipping notes again. Holy
okay.
crap.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, Snapper just wanted to let you know.
We love Snapper.
That tell David that the sphere is not for boomers.
You are a little bit. Listen, buddy. Really? What's his reason? What's his rationale for that? He's not going to be able to make it up the stairs.
That's all. That's all he said. It's not made for boomers. Clearly implying
Dude,
you.
Just the audio tech there is going to be fantastic, sir. You have no idea what you're going to be missing. I'm really, because they're going to be broadcasting the sound, dude, and the whole experience. Your chair will shake. You know what I mean? You gotta fasten those diapers on tight, really tight. Anyways, by the way, so that makes I think we have a few older members, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right. Let's get to the big stuff. I'm gonna get to the recession thing. Before I get there, God, I want to share this news so bad, but I promised myself that I wouldn't. What do you got, buddy? Is there anything? Nothing.
No.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Keep going, unless
right.
unless I tell you to stop.
All right. Well, so I've been asked by. Let me get to the professional part of it. Then I'm going to get to the player part of it, because I think the recession is not a bad thing for everyone. I think that if we do go into a recession, and I know that they talk about it in terms of like dire economic, but I think it's a lot of people that have a lot more money than they need to have that'll have to deal with this recession in a very negative way. But for a lot of other people, that if you the key is I think the difference in this recession in 2008 is that many of us will keep our job. I don't think that a lot of companies are willing to let their employees go. I think they're willing to, do some cost cutting. But this time around, those layoffs that we saw in 2008, I don't think we're going to go through the same spate of layoffs because, we've had such a hard time, finding employees, right, to fill all these roles. And now that they are, so I think this is going to be a pretty nice recession. I mean, if there is such thing as a nice recession, I think here in Vegas, I'm going to go over the reasons why I believe here in Vegas, at least, a recession can be a positive experience. So for one, are you ready?
Why do you keep
building up? I mean, this would be a
asking?
great place to put a commercial. You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay. All right, ready? So here's what I think. So a recession is going to change how people spend money. So people aren't going to be willing to belly up to a $15 table with a $500 max as easily as they have up to now, right? So if you're someone if you're a business and you're dealing with this recession, you're going to be, for once, and which hasn't happened in quite a few years, you're going to be competing for customers. You're going to be trying to do the things that casinos used to do to compete for customers. And that means, guess what? The return of the coupon. I mean, oh my God, we had Grant in here today. No, it wasn't Grant. It was someone else. It wasn't Grant. I mean, it's amazing how stingy some casinos have been, especially if you're a higher end player. I'm just stunned that you don't get a coupon book, or something. I know there's a casino, I won't mention which, that is doling out drink coupons. You actually have to carry around drink coupons. You can't be like a rated player, show your card, put it on the room, and then a casino host checks it off. You actually have to carry a coupon with you that you print off the kiosk and take it with you in exchange for a drink, which I think is amazing, especially if you're a top tier player. I mean, in most of my experience here in Vegas, you're a top tier player. Okay, here's my card or here's my ID. You bill it to the room, and then when you're done staying, your host or whoever you have just cancels out those charges for you, and then you walk with whatever's left, right? And now you have to literally have the points squared away with the kiosk and just sort of print the coupons as you go. It's quite stunning. This is one of the reasons why investment is so plentiful here in Vegas. Is why so many people see Vegas as a cash cow, or so many businesses see Vegas as a cash cow, because there's just so many ways to milk the customer. But anyways, okay. So enter the recession, enter coupon. Coupon comes back. Now you got to fight for customers. I really think that on the whole, you'll have lower limit tables, which I don't think inherently are bad for casinos. I don't see lower limit tables will mean more activity on the game by regular people who have regular jobs and regular money to spend. So while you might miss some of this high-end action or people having to, pay on their 7% mortgages, the rest of us will be able to we'll have better access to all the things that we used to have, right? Lower limit tables, maybe more affordable food, maybe we don't have to get doled out, our drink ticket as much. But I think on the whole, Vegas will be much more accessible and much more affordable as the casinos compete for customers, and I think that's a great thing. I had this, I guess pseudo, not really a rant, but I was very optimistic about the demonopolization of Vegas. So in Vegas, some years ago, you had a lot of operators, and then all of a sudden you had very few operators, and then collectively, just went this whole route of charging for everything and monetizing every experience that you can have in Vegas. And then enter, a few new operators, quite a few new operators actually. We have quite a few operators on the Las Vegas Strip. It's not just 3 or 4 companies, there's quite a few more. And I was really looking forward to, more competition. But when a casino will look across the street and see what's working for the competitor, and if it's working for them, it'll work for them. For the longest time, Bally's was the last holdout on resort fees. They even had a sign saying, "We're the last strip casino with no resort fees," and then ultimately, they had resort fees, and now they have every other fee you can imagine. So, I think the recession will be good for most of us. I don't think, when it comes here to Vegas, anyways. When it comes here to Vegas. The other thing about it is, if you're in the market right now for a Vegas vacation, casinos are doing everything they can to get you on the calendar now and get ahead of it and increase cash flow. So if you're someone who's looking, just expect that, I think towards the end of the year, towards Christmas, as a lot of these casinos start getting nervous, look for those offers, promoting rooms into next year that you'll have to get ahead of before the new year. And so lock up those rates, lock in those promotions. So that'll be a thing. All right, what do you got, Dennis? I need a pause, buddy. I got a drink.
Well, John asked.
Yes, John.
So we're hoping for the recession. Is that the message?
I mean, I think I don't see if you're looking to buy a house, a recession sucks, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, if for some reason you think that your company is in a position where it's on the fringe. Or it's on the fence. There's a lot of these companies, we call them, I don't know if they're called ghosts. There's a lot of companies that exist on borrowed money. Borrowed money is a terrible place to be right now, because that borrowed money is getting very expensive. So if you're in a company on a shoestring budget that's been having cash flow issues, and that might not be good for your business, or you might want to look at other opportunities. But I really think in this recession. Now, there's so many other variables that go on, right? I mean, we got a war. Well, we don't have a war, but there's the war, Ukraine, Russia could go crazy. I mean, who knows? But I think for a lot of us, as long as we can keep our jobs and we keep our cash flow, and the rest of it will work itself out. And I think there'll be greater opportunity. Now, gas prices could go crazy, and then we can get stuck that way. But I think that a lot of the high cost of stuff will have to be reconsidered. I mean, even our supply chains in China and other places have had to rework their prices. One of the best things for us is shipping logistics have gotten much more affordable. I mean, especially when it comes to these crates. So during the, in I would say about a year ago, if you wanted to get in a whole shipping container, it was something like $20,000, $23,000, and now you can get a container over for about $7,000. And we've seen these rates continuously go down as these logistics are working themselves out, and I think they'll work themselves out even more as people get nervous about who's spending what and where. I mean, we're already getting lots of offers. Hey, we've lowered our prices. Come get ahead of this supply chain of these orders. But we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait because we want to get better prices. So we're waiting it out a little bit. What else?
Well, Robert, fantastic that you got your hat.
You got your hat. Thank you.
That's basically it.
That's
it. Basically it.
Just one guy with a hat.
Got a hat.
That's the whole nature of the chat. You guys were all discussing his hat.
No, they're discussing other things, but not. Some people are talking to each other, type of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so the rest of it is, where does Vegas go, or how does? In the past, we've been very affected by recession. 2008 was tough on this town. A lot of people got laid off. A lot of pits got smaller. A lot of things changed. By the way, if you happen to have any money during that time, you did well. I mean, you were able to play on low limit tables. The housing, of course, was very affordable. There was a lot of things that worked out for some people. I had saved quite a bit of money, and I was able to get a condo, and so that was helpful. Having a low cash price, let's say. So I benefited to some extent. In fact, it was a sale of that condo that helped us ultimately get Casino Quest. So that was a good thing.
Well, I have 2 super chats while you find your thoughts here. Israel gave us $4.99. Says,
Thank
is
you.
California legalizing sports gambling in November, worrying Vegas?
No, I can't wait. I really don't think so, man. I know that I've heard this so many times. I know I worked here in the 90s when many new markets were opening, especially the tribal markets, right? I even left Vegas and went and opened Louisiana. And I remember listening to a lot of bosses going, oh my God, why would you come to Vegas when you can, you're going to, on your way to Vegas, you're going to run into 8 casinos. By the time you get to Vegas, you're not going to have any money, right? And that never became a thing. Vegas evolved. Unlike some other markets that have sort of either stagnated or remained. I mean, if Vegas was literally just a gambling center, it may not be the destination it is today, but it's not. It's a foodie center. It's entertainment capital. There's just so much to do. This is really a destination for a lot of people. I mean, this is a bucket list for a lot of people. So all the people that hearken to this idea that Vegas is not a thing. I mean, it's never been that way. You can build all the casinos you want all over the world. People still want to come to Vegas. The food here is quite stunning. I will tell you this. We've gotten a little bougie on the food. We go out quite a bit. And, I have this thing where I review the food anonymously. Shh, don't tell anybody who it is. But, yeah, big fat Google guy. Yep. But we go out. And what's stunning is we've gone to other markets now that I used to think were a better food destination. And I think Vegas is really knocking out of the park. We have so many pretty amazing food experiences here. It's quite something. The new thing we have is instead of food courts, it's a food hall. It's not a food court, and they invite all these sort of upscale, expensive, foofy ass food destination, which a lot of them on their own are pretty exciting. Resort World, for example, has a food hall, and there's quite a few fairly unique food entries there that you can experience, and it's very cool the way they laid that. Aria is the next one to get a food hall. You may have heard that Cosmo now has a food hall, and they have some really, really interesting food that you can get, and it's fast, casual experience. You don't have to sit down and get waited on. You go up and order your food, and it's quite something. So Vegas is constantly evolving this whole experience. I mean, just like the Sphere, you're gonna want to come to Vegas to experience the Sphere. You know what I mean? I mean, you want to come to Vegas to the Stratosphere, the Needle, and the restaurant up there is absolutely fantastic. What else you got?
I got a couple questions.
By the way, can I just say, if they legalize, if they add Class 3 gaming in California, give us a call. We got a school, just so you know. Yeah.
I got a couple questions. I already answered in chat, but
Okay.
Paul asked, what is your favorite restaurant in Vegas?
So it really depends what kind of food group we're talking. What kind of food group we're talking?
That's the whole question.
Just like what in general is a favorite restaurant?
Yep.
Dennis, what's your favorite restaurant?
Well, I gave him a list already in chat.
I think Wing Lee is up there as one of my favorite. I do like Jasmine, but I haven't been to Jasmine in quite a while actually since the pandemic. Wing Lee it's a Michelin starred restaurant. It's the Wynn, and it really is a fun. I think it's one of Dennis's favorite places. I'm a big Italian guy. There's quite a few really good Italian restaurants here. I would say if you're coming to Vegas, if you want to go off strip, I really like Ferraro's. I still like Ferraro's. We also like Brisa at Resorts World. They have some really cool, very interesting flavored, dishes there. As far as the steakhouse goes, I will tell you that we went to a steakhouse, which where was it? What was it called?
The Capital One.
Oh yeah, no, the Capitol Grill, dude. Here at Fashion Show is fantastic. It really is. You got to get they have this filet mignon that's actually cut for you, Snapper. Dude, they cut it for you. They almost feed it to you, buddy. They might chew on it a little bit to get it to soften it up if you need it.
Here's an interesting question.
Got a little snap, huh?
Alan Toy gave us a $2 super chat. Said, "How is the silver coin token sales? Need more?"
Well, let's just say, here's the thing, Alan. So Alan got a hold of a bunch of these original tokens, silver tokens that came from casinos, and we've been reselling them here at the store. They the problem is that unless you're a collector, you don't know the value of these coins or these. Believe it or not, some of the rarest of these and the most expensive of these are the truck stop, Sid's truck stop in northern Nevada. But everybody wants like the Golden Nugget, or the Mirage. They want the big names. They don't care about the value. They want something that's a memory of Vegas. So unless we can get some of those, that's the goal. What do you got, buddy?
I think you can get back to the topic.
Back to my rant.
Back to the rant.
Okay. So I really think that in general, the recession here is not going to have the greatest impact. We just had a sit down. We just had a meeting with a network casino who is looking at hiring quite a few people, and in fact is expanding. If you look at all of the money, all the revenue reports that have come in from casinos over the last couple of quarters, they've all been doing very well. They're looking to make expansions. And there's this old adage that has sort of started to play out here in Vegas, which I heard many, many years ago, except for 2008 when literally everybody was broke. But Vegas there's always somewhere in the world where people are doing better or people are doing well enough to come to Vegas and experience what Vegas has to offer. And while that might change, ultimately Vegas stays alive and Vegas does well. So I am looking forward to a whole different experience. I am looking forward to all of our players at least getting a leg up, finding lower limit tables to create as much opportunity as they can. Getting back to the days when casinos used to publish their paybacks right there on the floor. That was another thing. They would tell you, listen, this machine is 100% payback or 99% payback. Nowadays, they don't publish because you wouldn't play them if they did. Not to say that that's always true, but there's a few of them that really suck. So there's that. All right, what do you got? I'm running out of stuff here, buddy. My rant is.
Well,
someone asked earlier
if you think 000 is gonna take over single zero and double zero.
Oh God, there's a rant. Oh God, 000. How does 000 exist? Who's not paying attention? This is absolutely the reason why we exist. I would love for everyone, if you could just stop here first and we'll educate you a little bit. Many people ask us, do the casinos care? No, they don't care. They're just going to put out what they think creates opportunity for them, just like what you're going to do something that creates opportunity for you. The casinos did really well they do really well on single zero. There's casinos all throughout Europe that thrive on single zero. And casinos here do great on double zero. The 000 thing is quite literally just people either too drunk or too silly, just not paying attention to what's going on. I had we had some guests here the other day who were talking about their 000 experience, and of course they were distracted by the pretty girl that was dealing it because it happened to be in a party pit, which makes sense. If you're going to be distracted and play a game, at least blame it on the dealer. But stay away from the 000 game. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, try to, if you bet anything and you watch any of our videos, break out a little bit of cash and play an SR game if you can. If you can't, go to 000. There's quite a few systems out there that'll keep you alive, keep you going. I also think that's another area where I am looking forward to, because maybe during a recession, if you have less money to spend, maybe you take a minute and you visit YouTube and you come to some better conclusions on where to spend your money and what to do, right? If you're looking to save a buck, if you're looking to, find those coupons, I mean, it's coming. Yo.
We have a $5 super chat from LV Dgen says, I have a dice with David Friday afternoon. Bring your stories.
Oh, I have a lot of stories. We have a lot of stories. We roll those out, by the way, on Patreon, just so you know. There's quite a few stories there. David has been around the block, and the block has been around David. You know what I'm saying? All right, come on. Let's get more questions. I'm going to get fired up. Go.
Everyone's just talking about 000 right now. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them.
All right, let's give away the hat, because that guy's just not calling in. So let's do it. Ready? I don't even care how many likes. No one cares. Let's just give away the hat, and we'll move on from there. Ready?
Wow. So in Indiana,
yep.
000 are usually $25 minimums.
Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. I would move. I would just move, leave your kids, get the hell out of there. Don't worry about it. Really? $25 tables on 000? See, that's what I'm saying. That's absurd, man. That's just because they can get away with it. Makes no sense. You know what's interesting? The one great thing about craps is that you place bets play what they pay. It's hard to get screwed on place bets. That's why craps is such a great game. If you avoid all the other bets that suck, and what do we tell you? The basic adage is don't come on a craps table. And I mean the come. You know what I mean? That's actually an area of the... I know I wanted to name a video that. They wouldn't let it. But it's true. You guys know there's a come bet. Don't come on a craps table. It's very simple. That's also the pass line. The pass line is a come bet on the next roll of the dice. Avoid those. There's not a lot of opportunity there. You know what I mean? Just stick with the place bets, and they can have 000 all they like. There's crapless craps, of course, which has a higher edge for the casino. Avoid that. Casinos are adding those left and right. You know, when Bob Stupak was alive, he would have loved to seen that crapless craps has been cemented in Vegas now, that it's being rolled out. You know what's interesting is a lot of bosses, and I know of two bosses very specifically who talked about hating Bob Stupak. I won't mention who they are, but maybe I will on my next video, my David Story thing. But I had the good fortune of being hired onto a casino that had just opened, may or may not have been Casino Boardwalk. And two owners, they were small owners, but two owners sat there and they would just talk about Bob Stupak. And I know that he wasn't well liked because he was a bit cray-cray. And, he obviously, Vegas World was a bit of an odd duck. And, he fought for every customer. He always had some kind of promotion, some kind of crazy promotion. Of course, he had crapless craps. And he gave one of those games to Little Caesars. And so it was Little Caesars and Vegas World at the time. They both had the crapless craps game, but none of the other casinos would put it in their casino, primarily because of Stupak. Because as we know now, they're all over it. Now there's no Stupak, there's no personality behind it. They're happy to have the game because you know what? It's a fun game. I mean, if you literally put a blinders on and go like that, it's a fun game. It was fun. I rolled a point of 2, and then I rolled it again. That's kind of fun. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're not sitting there trying to create too much opportunity, it's kind of a cool game. And when you see it, it's kind of novelty, especially if you like playing craps. But he would be very excited to know that that crapless craps now is starting to make its way into a lot of different casinos. But it's very disheartening to find when I hear about these experiences in other states where you have $5 games or even $15 games and $200 limits. Those are silly things. That's because literally no one's paying attention and no one cares. People are willing to just go to their local casino or wherever, and they're not spending a minute to figure out what's the best opportunity. And I understand that for a lot of us it's a recreational use, and that's great. I mean, if you're just going there and you want to play 000 and just killing time, that's excellent. But we would love for people to be educated about these games. Okay, that's kind of our role. There you go. What else you got, buddy?
I have two super chats. We have one from Mimo.
Yes.
It was $2. Says 6 to 5 and free bet blackjack. That's literally all he said. I don't know what he means.
Yeah, avoid 6 to 5. That's another one that's coming. Forget a 000 6 to 5. Even money blackjack is on its way, man. They're working it out. There's actually a few variations of blackjack that will have even money blackjack, where quite literally the benefit to you is that they pay the blackjack regardless of what the dealer has, and then there's another bet associated with it. But it's coming. Don't get me wrong. Already, the thing here in Vegas is the prettier the dealer, the worse the odds. I mean, that's really what it works down to. So if you belly up and you're just quite literally stunned that you're probably not getting the best, you just leave your wallet and walk away, call it a day.
It's true 80% of the time, not 100%.
Not 100%. That's true.
The other super chat is from Neo. It was $2.
Thank you, Neo.
Said I heard some casinos are lowering minimums. Paris.
Yeah. Well, they have no choice. So, player retention is going to become a much bigger thing as the recession goes. So they're going to look to actually entice you to stay and become a regular player, right? In order to do that, they're going to have to lower table minimums. I mean, that's 100% is coming. You're going to see $5 games and off. Once you start seeing those $5 games play out, you'll start seeing more and more casinos looking to that, because the player squeeze is going to have to end, because people just aren't going to have... up until now, it's been sort of this crazy donation period where people literally, after the pandemic, a lot of us flush with cash, and whatever it is, whether it's a stimulus check or you're just getting paid to stay home, or maybe you started your own business, or you sold all your crap, or maybe you just sold your house at a super ridiculous premium to some company, whatever the case is. But profits here have been absurd. The premiums associated with gambling, with food, with practically everything, room rates, all those things have been sort of off the charts, which is amazing, because coming out before the pandemic ended, everybody told us to kiss our ass goodbye. Like, quite literally, people lined up and said, "Listen, just bend. Let me help you bend over. I'll help you kiss it. Just get the hell out of the casino business, because what are people going to do?" Huh? Were you chiming in there, buddy? I wasn't even pausing to you. What was that?
No, you just said kiss
about
it.
Kissing the ass.
Yeah.
You wanted to interrupt?
I didn't want to interrupt. I was just making a face.
Oh, a face. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people said we were done. That we were out. And trust me, I it's not like I believed it wholeheartedly, but I was very frustrated. And I was looking at ways that we could stay alive. I honestly didn't think Casino Quest would be a thing. I thought for sure that people would just move on to, saving what money they could and invest in their own futures. I'm not really sure, but strangely enough, we made a comeback, and here we are. And ultimately, I that's why I think that a lot of the naysayers now, a lot of the people that either have talked to us about our business or no one's going to need dealers, all that's not been true. And it won't be true in the future. I don't think that this recession, if it comes, will have as big of impact as previous did. I know that there's cash being taken out of the economy. I read all the Wall Street Journal, and I read Barron's, and I read all this negativity, and let's be clear, all the people that are negative are constantly, those are the biggest, fattest voices out there, the loudest voices out there, and many times, some of that doesn't have the greatest impact on those of us who lead normal lives. You know what I mean? Those of us who have to just put gas in our car, come to work, and do our jobs and do our things. Now, granted, I think if you're looking for a house, it's a terrible time to be looking for a house. It's a terrible time to be selling a house. So there's a lot of those kinds of things will have an impact. But as far as like jobs here in Vegas, I know that many people are still hiring. In fact, casinos are hiring at an uptick that I have never seen in my life. Outside of a new casino property open, it's amazing the number of open jobs there are for dealers. It's really stunning. It's never been that way before. In fact, some casinos are facing an existential crisis to their table game departments, where they're actually thinking about suspending shifts. There are some of them that have suspended shifts or have removed tables altogether, because they would rather, instead of having the table dead, they're going to move a slot machine or something else, or they're spreading out the slot machine. They just literally don't have table game dealers. If you have dice games, some casinos have had to remove dice games, blackjack games, whatever the case is. It's amazing. And it's so contrary to everything that you read or see in the news and this kind of thing. It's quite stunning. But I do believe that for players themselves, especially going into this, if you still have a job, you have cash flow, you're looking to have a great vacation, great experience, Vegas is on the horizon now. If I were you, I wouldn't fly in a plane. Let me just say, it's just drive here. Just drive here. Right?
To be fair, David won't fly in a plane in general.
Yeah, I don't
so
fly.
He's a little biased when it comes to that.
I'm very biased.
But we do have another super chat. It's a $10 super chat.
Yes.
I'm going to butcher your name, so sorry in advance. I think this is Bradman.
Yep.
Said, what is what is the biggest difference between crapless craps and regular craps? Can't you still play it with normal systems?
I mean, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Everything's a point. So there's no real don't pass, right? So everything's a point, 2, 3, 11, 12. You just come out, create a point, you can win that point again. So technically, if you just stick to place bets, you can still play the place bets. You're not worried about the pass line. You only bet the pass line on the come out roll. So most of my systems, most of my regressive systems, most of my stay and play systems are about opportunity. You can play on every game, and the hold on crapless craps games, really is prescribed to those people who bet all the extreme numbers. People who take, place bet on the 2, for example, or take odds on the 2, or take advantage of the thing, the opportunity, the different opportunity that crapless craps has. But yeah, you still play it the same way. I have heard of not on a crapless crap, but I've heard of people reining in some of the opportunity on a craps game, which I think is really unfortunate. You can't change a game of craps, man. You just can't do it. It's antithetical to being a U.S. citizen, a patriot. You know what I mean? I really think you got to just leave that game alone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead. Ask away. Ask anything you would like in this segment of our podcast, and I am here to answer it as honestly as I can. Go.
Someone asked, is there any repeater craps tables left? Apparently Susan said Gold Coast has a repeater bet.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think these layouts change a lot. I mean, it really just depends on the hold. When I was breaking in a long time ago, the hold on dice games was low. So you would have like a 12% hold. By that I mean every $100 you would spend, they would look to earn $12 of that money, right? And over time, those holds have gone up, where casinos are looking for 19, 20, 20% and more, and that's just on average. Like averages out between the people that win and lose on the table itself. And basically, a lot of that comes from, I get asked a lot about the table minimums. The table, you guys go into a casino, you see all these high table minimums. It's not just that. It's also the lower maximums, because it's literally how players get squeezed, and that's what leads to these. That's what leads to these tables just making more money, right? Because you can't make as much money. There's just literally not as much opportunity for you to take advantage of a table anymore. Even on a blackjack table, if you play a blackjack table that has a higher minimum, lower maximum, or 6 to 5 blackjack, these kinds of things, you just don't have the same opportunity to win. So ultimately, these tables hold more profit essentially, and make more money. And they're happy to do that because they only need one. They need less people to interact with those tables for them to make the kind of margins that they want to make. And it really comes down to kind of this bean counter mentality that's played out in Vegas, especially in the last couple of years. And I know I get a lot of slack for this. The casinos, casinos will tell me, well, they're just looking out for, obviously they have shareholders, they're looking out for their experience, and people, they're happy to suggest that people come here with this knowledge of, I'm coming to make a deposit, I'm paying for my experience, but that's not really accurate, is it? Most of us are looking at least with the best chance possible to win. And if you keep moving the needle so far, then I ultimately think that people are just going to walk away. So if you're at a casino, you might stay and eat somewhere, but you're going to walk across the street and find a better experience. You're going to find a lower limit table. You're going to find better odds to play with, and that's really going to be the thing. And this recession is going to usher in that experience. You wait. As people are much more frugal with their cash and are looking to, they're going to be more concerned with that opportunity and that payback. They might spend even a second learning a little bit. We hope that our experience here, we're going to be expanding the Casino Quest experience and trying to make contact with as many people as we can. And the goal really is to upgrade your reality. What we want to just unsqueeze as many people and as many things as we possibly can. Years ago, a really good friend of mine who was a top level executive, one of the biggest casinos on the planet. What's that word that you used the other day, Dennis? We had this really interesting conversation. Now, mind you, he's literally the guy, VP of operations, one of the biggest casinos on the planet at the time. Okay. And he was telling me how he felt that it was unfortunate the direction that the casino was taking was, eliminating a couple things. Number one was information, taking away the information that people use to sort of empower themselves. So some casinos, I wouldn't say a lot of casinos, they were very aware that the internet was sort of changing people's rationale, right? You go online, you research, you look up, where you want to go, where you want to stay, and everybody has different things they're looking for. Someone literally has, I want to open the window, I want fresh air. You follow? Like if you go online right now and you go to Expedia or you go to these websites, whatever it is, you look for the amenity list. You want to see where you're staying, what kind of rooms, how big, whatever the case is. And there are different things that people have as a checklist, like what's going to make their experience as good as possible. And the casinos made the decision to exclude as much of that information as possible so that you didn't have a reason to say no, that you literally went for the brand. So when you ultimately end up here in Vegas, you show up at your room and you can't open your window and get fresh air. It's a takeaway, but you're so blinded by everything else they have going on. Maybe you don't think about it. You don't care. How about you go on a lot of casino sites today and look for the dining, and it's tough to get prices. And they'll put $4 signs. What does $4 signs mean? Is it $25 a dollar sign? Is it $15? I've walked into a $3 sign restaurant that was $100. How is that $3? I got $3 signs. You know what I'm saying? So all of this has changed over time, and so these are the takeaways. So my friend was basically telling me, imagine if you were able to have something independent, something on the side, where you had the relationships and the connection where you can then, cater to all these people that have been squeezed out of, the opportunity that Vegas has, have all that information available to them, like what's in the room. If you can call me up and say, hey, David, I need some fresh air. I want low limit tables. I want the best flipping crap dealers. I don't want to deal with all those other, and we hook you up. I mean, and that really was the evolution. Those ideas became the evolution of Casino Quest. Now, we had to start small. There was a lot of pushback, but here we are. We're finally here, and this is our goal. Our goal is to educate as many dealers and as many players as possible. That's the experience that we want.
Thoughts on free bet blackjack?
I don't really have. So yeah, no, I really don't play. I play straight up blackjack. And I look for 3-2, and if it doesn't have it, which a lot of places just don't pay 3-2. If I could, I would give me a double deck pitch, so I can have a dealer reshuffle every now and then. So I got a whole different experience. Automatic shuffle is a takeaway for me. I understand why they have them, but yeah, outside of Pai Gow, craps, and just a very basic blackjack game.
So here's an interesting question.
Go.
Is Christmas a good time to come to Vegas?
Fantastic time to come to Vegas. Huh?
Anything special then?
Yep, everything's cheaper. So if you come around Christmas time, everything is cheaper. People are, busy with their home, with their families, but if you bring a family here, it's a great place to be. A lot of casinos go out of their way to decorate. You'll notice the Bellagio flowers. They have that atrium there that's all decorated. Any place out here that has sort of a display area has some really nice, the Wynn, for example. So there's a lot to see. I've always enjoyed. I've done a staycation here one time for Christmas. It was a fantastic time. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Most restaurants have some type of Christmas themed dining, or and I've enjoyed that. So the rates tend to be less. Right up until you get prior to New Year's, and then the rates get a little bit crazy, right? But there's lots of incentives to come here around Christmas time. It's kind of the slowest time of year. The busiest time, of course, is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. There's a lot of people in town, After Christmas, a lot of people in town. Leading up to New Year's, a lot of people in town, obviously. But if you're here that week before Christmas, it's a fantastic time to come. You can get around to all the casinos, all the rides, as it were, and really, really have a good time.
Let's see. I don't know. I can't find the question right now, but
Really?
I'm looking for it. Do you think the days of $5 craps are coming back?
Yep, 100%. $5 craps coming back. $5 blackjack is coming back. You might even see pitch games come back. I really think that there are casino operators out there. There are table game managers or casino managers right now that are trying to think ahead. And the way to think ahead is to, when this thing hits, you want to have a really loyal consumer base. If you look at some of the casinos that get a lot of traffic and you wonder why the hell they get so much traffic, look at Ellis Island. The Ellis family, I mean, they have done a fantastic job getting people into that place. And, on the surface, I wouldn't go there. I really wouldn't. I know Alex talks about it a lot, and on the surface. But knowing they have $5 craps, or even sometimes $10 craps if it gets ridiculous, but $5 craps, inexpensive beer, inexpensive food. I mean, they've created this loyal cadre for people that come out here, stay at the chateau, stay at really nice hotels, and walk their ass over to that casino because it has cheap. And again, on the surface, it's not it's not the neighborhood or the destination that I would choose. And I think that casinos in general are going to have to take a much harder look, especially if this recession, or what they call a recession, I think if it lasts, and once again, I think it's going to be a different kind of recession. I really do. As much as there's a lot of big bellwether things that are going to affect companies. Borrowing costs are going to go up. It's going to be harder to get a car, harder to get a house. I get all those things, but if most of us are going to be standing in place, we're still going to have our job. We're still going to have. I don't think companies are going to be as willing to lay off employees as hard as it's been to get some of these employees, especially the most productive ones. And if you're that and you're in that position, I think Vegas is going to become a much better destination. Not to mention the fact that competition is going to be up through the roof. There are going to be so many new properties, so many new rooms that are literally going to come out in the middle of this recession. If it's coming in 2023. We just went over all the new properties that are coming. So you got all these new rooms, you got all these new jobs, you got all these new things going on in Vegas, and they're going to be fighting for every single customer. You're going to see Players Club incentive, restaurant incentives. Some of the restaurant prices out here, absolutely absurd. I don't believe some of these restaurant prices are absolutely have gone up way beyond what inflationary adjustments for supply chain issues. Okay, let's be real. All right, you got people making. If that's true, I want to see everybody's paycheck. I want to see how many of these people are starting to pay their employees more, because that'd be a good benchmark. If I were able to walk into a restaurant and they're like, you know what, we give all our employees a 20% raise, count me in. I'm gonna sit down and hook up. You know what I mean? That sounds like a plan. But if you're telling me that it's all the same thing, but you're just trying to take advantage of what they call of inflation. I went to a store the other day. I went to buy a shirt. When they first got the shirt into the store, it was one price. Then they went ahead and put a sticker on it, as if somehow that shirt's the same flip. It was the same flipping price, dude. We haven't done anything like that here at our store. If we have these foam dice, for example. These foam dice are now $3 each. Now they're $3 each. When I got them, they were 50 cents. And this was only a year ago. They were like 59 cents. We still charge $1. That's it. We charge $1 for them. We haven't raised it to $3 because it's going to cost us more money 2 weeks from now. When it costs us more money, then we'll slap on a fatter price. But to be honest with you, some of this stuff that we have, we don't think people are even going to buy it at the higher rate. But these restaurants, man, starting to get a little depressing. You know what I'm saying? The food's great, and the people are nice, and the servers are nice. But I really think all this has gotten a little out of hand. I mean, if you're in Indiana, right, and you're a 000, dude, in your local casino, that's insane, man. That is absolutely insane. A Keno machine with 127 payback on a 5 spot is just absolute. That's like theft. I don't understand how that's even a thing. I mean, it's a thing because people don't look, they don't care, they don't know. There's no context for them, so they just buy into it. But I really do think that as long as we have jobs, and I think that's going to be key. I think much of this, all this fear, and I think a lot of this inflationary stuff is happening because people are just willing to slap on a new price. And a lot of businesses are going for the jugular. And I understand they're trying to return some profits, but if those profits aren't going back to employees, they could suck it and we'll move on. You know what I mean? And that's really what's going to happen. All these new investments, I'm very happy for all these new investments. I'm very happy for all these new jobs. But come on, let's play nice. Let's everybody, we can all make some money and deliver a great experience here in Vegas. And that's really the goal. And that's why we're here. All right, what do you got?
Israel said, "Do you think the slot machine is rigged?" I actually,
which one?
The slot machine claw.
The slot machine claw is rigged? No. It's a trigger, by the way. It's electronic. The claw doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah,
it's like pushing the button.
We actually talked to the guy at G2E. He quite literally said like, it doesn't matter which ball. It's on a curve like any slot machine.
Yeah.
So basically, even if the ball.
Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, it malfunctioned while we were there, and the ball dropped, and I still got paid the jackpot.
Very true.
Yeah, you'll see this. It's on the curve. It's not RNG. You know what is RNG? Interblock craps. That's RNG, which is impressive. I think is a great. I'm looking forward. We're gonna be filming that a little bit. I'm a fan now, big time. I don't like the community craps because I can't get all my bets in. Strangely, you know what I mean. Maybe my dice game is a bit weak. I'm not sure. But like the roll to wins is not a big is not big for me. I move my money around too much. I got too much working. I needed extra time to get my bets down, put my new bets up. You know what I mean?
People were asking also earlier about what is stadium craps.
Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan of the stadium craps. So again, if I'm pressured to get my bets in under a certain time, there's just no way. I mean,
they're asking what is stadium craps.
Well, so there's a couple different stadium versions. So there's one where you just play in a timer, right? And you get so much time. We saw that out in Oklahoma or Colorado. Remember the one where there was like 6 seats around?
Yeah, we have them here too also.
Yeah.
It's just basically there's a bubble in the middle. Everyone has their own little stations around.
Yeah.
And then everyone works on the same dice. Though
Right.
the thing is, it's on a timer, so it's not like someone clicks when they're ready
the
to
timer
shoot.
sucks, dude. Snapper, don't play that game, dude. You're not gonna work out well.
The only stadium craps I would play would be there's a new interblock one that is everyone has a station on the outside, and then there's an actual mini table on the inside where you can shoot
where you
and throw.
shoot, you step up to shoot. Planet Hollywood has it.
Yeah.
But again, you still under duress. You still gotta get your bets in. I don't like to be pressured that way. I got RNG on the flipping dice. That's all I need, dude. I don't need a shooter. I just need RNG. Boom. We did great. We won. We bought him for like $40. Won $250 in 10 minutes over there, at that one that in where was that? Blackhawk. By the way, if you're going to Blackhawk, bring a sandwich. Okay, just saying. Bring a flipping sandwich, dude. I think the tables are great and the slots are great. And just so you know, for all the haters out there, I won on Keno. How many times, buddy?
Anyways, here's the
3 times.
Some super chat. Israel gave us $2. Said,
Thank
so
you.
is inflation not real?
I think inflation. Well, no, it's real. 100%, it's real. You can see it like pretty much everywhere. Holy crap! I think the only thing hasn't really, I haven't seen gone up in prices like chocolates and candy and anything that'll just fatten you up. But for the most part, everything else is damn near more expensive, right? So inflation's real. I think people are going to get to their senses here in a second. So just inflation, just as a point of price inflation, absolutely 100%. All across the board. I mean, rents have gone, everything has gone up in price.
VA Crap Shooters gave us $2. Said, when will we get a new Dennis Keno video?
We have Keno coming. We have a new channel, CQ Slots. We're going to be playing it there. We're going to be, Dennis loves Keno. Just so you know, Dennis absolutely loves Keno. It's his new favorite game. Okay. I know. It's funny. We lost on dice out in Blackhawk. Did I tell everybody to bring a sandwich if you go into Blackhawk? Man, the food sucks. That's another thing I don't understand. They can't make an investment in better restaurants. If you look up Blackhawk right now, you will see that there's not a single restaurant out there over 3 stars, dude. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what they just dialed it in. I get that the recession and their supply chains probably got whacked, but I mean, give me a break, man. We went there for dessert at this one place, and we apparently had the last 2 desserts they had in the fridge. That's literally what the guy told us. The last 2 desserts, and they, as you can imagine, they sucked. They had been there a little longer. I mean, I don't understand how is that a thing? How do people go over there, lose their pants, and not have dessert to cry over? I mean, you want some brownie, vanilla ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Dennis is reading the comments. It takes him a second.
Well, to be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying.
Oh, really?
But I do have a couple interesting questions.
Go.
Someone's asking about the Times Square casino.
I know. That would be amazing, by the way. Holy crap. I saw Star Wars in Times Square a long time ago. Looking to be a little date. I think I was 8 years old, 7 years old, something like that. I actually went and experienced New Year's there with my mom many years ago. If you don't know, I grew up originally in Queens, Flushing Meadows, and before I moved to Massachusetts. But I read the story about a casino potentially in Times Square. It would be lines for everything. I mean, that place is inundated. That people like most people have never seen. If you haven't been to Times Square in New York City, that area, you just don't know. You haven't seen a sidewalk with people on it. You know, we those of us have been like in California, places, even in Vegas, we have some big sidewalks. But quite honestly, that area, holy crap. I think it depends on what they're trying to put in there. I mean, if it's just a row of slot machines, you know what I do know now that if they put a casino there, it's just all about the money, dude. I mean, this is the problem I have, is if you have something that's so monopolized and there's so many people that are just like, you know, we all know that when we go to Disney World or Disneyland and you know, me and him went to, where'd we go? Universal Studios, okay, in Florida. And, you know, we got chicken nuggets that sucked for $15. And we were damn near almost happy to eat it. You know, it's like 3 little things, $15. Because we're a captive audience. We got nowhere to go. What are our choices? There are no choices, you know. The one restaurant they had there was ridiculous, literally hundreds of dollars. But, you know, these are going to be the worst payback machines. It's going to be a lot of noise. There's going to be one person yelling in the background because they hit a Keno jackpot. I'm just saying. But everyone else is going to be playing and think they're having fun, getting separated from their cash. You know what I'm saying?
I lost the question.
How did you lose the question?
Oh.
This is your time. You got to ask away. I'm going to go full. Go.
Alex
I'm not
asked,
even in that sentence. What's wrong with me?
my own local gambling establishment is close to me, is in Tampa, Hard Rock, Florida. What is your opinion on the Hard Rock casinos? Don't go.
Just literally find a pier and dive, dude. You'll have better success with that, okay?
Fly to Vegas.
I mean, come to Vegas, man. Can I just say, let me just say this, all right? First of all, I reached out to Hard Rock people, and I know that they saw my thing because I could see that they read all my invitations, right? No one bothered to communicate to me, which is probably a good thing. I'll be honest with you. We have the casinos that we love, and we love them for a reason, because they offer the best opportunity for our dealers and the best payback from our players. And as much as we try to have these relationships with other casinos, it just, you know, it would probably take away from our ability to report honestly. And so, you know, we're gonna do like what a lot of other YouTubers do, or people. I mean, we're just gonna keep it real, man. I mean, I get asked a lot, why we don't have more casinos. You would think we would be, you know, casinos would want to sponsor our channel, they'd want to work with us, have this relationship, but let's be honest. You know, David, that's not a thing. That place sucked, dude. I mean, it really did. We had the worst experience. First of all, I remember when the Hard Rock and the Hard Rock Cafe opened, literally behind where I used to live in these apartments. And the Hard Rock Cafe opened, and the cafe, the casino, it was a fantastic experience. The food was inexpensive. They had Lucky's that was 24/7, and they had these $5 graveyard specials. They had inexpensive slot. Even the video poker was cheap. I mean, it was just so much fun. The center bar, they had some foofy drinks that you had to pay for, and there were other experiences there. They had a lot of $25 tables on the weekends, and they had celebrities. But the whole experience as an entirety was literally just you could be at any level of the spectrum and really have a good time there. You could go to the cafe and get a great burger. You could just walk around and see all the memorabilia. I mean, this place is like a cash grab, dude. I mean, the what we saw out there, the burgers are $25 or whatever. I mean, you know, there was feces all over the bathroom. Go ahead and you tell him that, Dennis, because you saw that one firsthand. You know, we can't really blame him for that because that could have just happened.
No, it was not fresh. That's the thing.
It was not fresh.
It was not fresh.
I mean, I just feel like they took a brand, and I'm sure there's lots of it. You know, I didn't want to piss off a lot of Florida people because I had a supervisor that came out who I knew that had left the Hard Rock come to Vegas, and we were talking, and you know, he was really big on, you know, what great operators they are. They're just making so much money. Well, now we know how they're making so much money. But, you know, and so, like, I started out there. Before I actually went there, I was like, you know, I was always like, hey, these great operators. They came and they bought the Mirage, right? They have to change their game. They can't bring that game from Florida to Vegas, just so you know, because there's just no way. I mean, the Mirage, there's just no way. But anyways, and so I just avoided, like, you know, really, I've always held them in high esteem. And then I go there, and I got to be honest with you. And I think most of you that live there kind of get, well, if you come to Vegas and you go back, I think you might relate to us. I mean, some of you might have a great experience. I will say this, the poker room, fantastic. I've heard nothing but great things. And where they have it located there is fantastic. It's all separate. You don't have to listen to all the slot machines. They did a genius job of that. So if you're a poker player, fantastic. Really good stuff. I love it. But I know the biggest complaint for a lot of poker players, especially when the poker is right there on the casino floor, is you got all this noise and people looking and yada yada. There you got to go through this, you know, elevators and all the whole other side. Genius with that, absolutely genius idea. But come on, dude, I don't know. I mean, I might be just preaching to the choir here. I mean, I really think that there's room in Vegas for a boutique casino, quite honestly, that caters to people, talks about opportunity openly, talks about the paybacks openly. Like, as it is now, there's a few places downtown, there's a few casinos out there that do this. Ellis, for example, you know, they need to have the best pay machines, the best tables, because, you know, who's going to play there if they don't? They need to have affordable beer, and they have the Yard, which has great food. Look at El Cortez. El Cortez has some great paybacks. Not on everything, by the way. They have these U1 machines that don't have the best paybacks, that kind of thing, if you go through there and really look. But they're rated one of the best payback slot parlors, you know, around. And, you know, because who's going to play at the El Cortez if you don't have the best paybacks? Like, who's literally downtown in general has to have, you know, some better tables. Of course, Circa is trying to change that a little bit and trying to increase the limits, 21 and over, expensive steakhouse. You know, they're trying to model, you know, from a strip property, which I think, you know, is kind of a lost gig. I'm not sure. The jury is still out on how successful that's going to be, and I quite honestly, I wish them all the success in the world. But I'm a player centric dude. My thing is all about opportunity for our dealers and opportunity for our players. Everything else is kind of a mute thing for me. I just don't care. And you know, I think there's just so much room. But I do think that there's room for a boutique. I think there's room for a casino that's a beautiful property. Doesn't have to be in some other area of town. It could be on the strip and service, because it would be packed all the time. And, you know, you might not have the same margins and you might not have the same hold, but you're going to have, you know, customer satisfaction through the roof. You're going to have, you know, it takes a different mindset, I guess, right? Instead of just returning all the profit to shareholders, which I get, a lot of people are real buried in Robinhood right now. But maybe the shareholders would be okay to know that they have a very busy casino, one that they can engage with, and I really hope that one of these new operators looks towards that benchmark and looks towards creating that experience. And I really believe that with this recession, we are going to see that being done somewhere, and maybe in more. So, because if one or two of them start lowering the bar, you know, in terms of, you know, table limits, not squeezing players, more, more affordable amenities, these kinds of things. The other ones are going to have to follow suit. That's just how it works out here. It's this whole domino effect. You know what I mean? And you know what we're going to do? The minute someone comes up and says, David, we're about to offer this great experience, well, guess what? We'll promote it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it honestly and fairly because, we want them to do well. That's the place we want everybody to go, right? I mean, that's the goal. So, all right, what else you got?
I'm waiting for one more like.
Oh my God, really?
I'm waiting for one
short
more like.
one. Let's just do it. One more.
We need one. What do you mean? Let's just do it. Someone hit the like button.
Hit the like button.
There we go. We got 200. There you go.
Good. Oh, 200?
Yep. Let's give it away. Give away that.
All right, we'll give away 2 things. One for each 100. How about that? Are you ready? So first we're going to give away the autographed hat.
You're going to give someone's autographed hat away?
Well, because it's just sitting here. It's been sitting here forever. They haven't sent us the address. What do you want me to do with this? Okay. It's just here. We can autograph another one if they ever get back to us. Okay? You know what I mean? They might have gone to Ukraine. You don't know. All right, let's go. Ready? Okay, this autographed hat. Here it goes. So let's go. Jesus. What should we do? 000.
Like the word 000 or just 3 zeros?
Get it out of your system now. Just punch it in, 000, and then never look back. 000 yourself out. Just grind it out.
We'll type in 000 in chat apparently.
Really?
While that happens, we have a $5 super chat.
Thank you.
It says almost 400 people watching. Let's get those likes up. This is from Floral Axis Sunbro.
Thank you, Floral Access. Thank you.
Everyone's typing 000. Going right ahead. And pull.
Are we doing 000?
Yeah, everyone's just typing away.
You tell them to stop. You do the stop, and then I'll do the number. What do you think? Oh, we got to talk a little bit. Do we have any other big questions? Big probative questions?
I've lost all the questions because they're all typing 0.
Oh, really? You lost all the questions?
All the questions just gone. Negative questions.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. We'll get to it. We might have one final rant. Maybe one. We'll
okay.
For the last one. Go.
I am. Oh wait, I gotta switch the camera. Okay. I am stopping. Pick a number.
3.
3.
Yes.
I'm gonna butcher this so badly.
Is this someone new?
Keytron.
Perfect.
Kentron. Well,
like
I'm gonna just type your name on chat, and you are the winner.
Congratulations.
He
He can choose a regular hat. Doesn't have to have the. You know what I mean? It's up to him. We have a regular hat. All right, gonna do one more. Yeah, we gotta give away some stuff, dude. I got all this stuff on my desk. We actually have a few more chips. Boom, boom. We only have a couple left, by the way. They're almost all gone, and it's our Casino Quest ceramic chip, and we've almost given them all out.
Do you want them to still keep typing 000 or different
Nah,
word?
let's go something else. What else do you need to get on the system?
Type in rant.
Rant. Okay, well that's always good. David's good for ranting. David's fantastic for ranting. Okay, yeah, we're gonna give away this ceramic chip now. It's very cool. It's a tiger design that our very own Mar design. And we were supposed to get this on a coin, but it ended up we got this big fat ceramic. And this is like a victim of the logistics issues, supply issues. So we tried to get it on a smaller coin, but they were out of the smaller coins. Then we wanted it on a bigger one. They were out of those. So ultimately, it came in as ceramic. You can't really see the design. I don't know. So here, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, it's really cool. It's a great ceramic chip. It says, "You're the Tiger 2022 Casino Quest." It's pretty cool. We'll send you one of these. Okay, ready? Stop.
Wait, let me answer this question first. What is the best casino for first-time players in Vegas, either downtown or off-strip? Well, number one, if you're going to come here, you should first come to Casino Quest. But once you come to Casino Quest, you should go to Ellis Island. It tends to be
we say Ellis Island, but if you're not anxious to walk to Ellis Island and you're quite literally on the strip.
Well, we're talking about first-timers. He said first-timers.
First-timers or downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, it just so depends, man. It's been so tough for some of these casinos to keep dealers, especially downtown. The turnover rate has been outrageous. Casinos on the strip have been trying to add tables to meet demand, and so they've been pulling dealers from literally everywhere else. So so for those of you who are downtown or even local properties, and you're seeing sort of a decline in the quality of dealer, the quality of experience, this is part of the reason. And so Vegas has been, dreadfully impacted by the lack of employees. A lot of dealers, especially legacy dealers, older dealers, chose to retire once the pandemic hit. So Vegas was already short, and now you have all these pits that have been trying to expand, and so now they're short by thousands and thousands of dealers. It's quite stunning. The caveat to that is that not so much in poker. So I know a lot of people are big on poker, would love to come out here, be the next poker dealer. We haven't seen the same demand for poker at the end of the year, beginning of the year. World Series of Poker, obviously huge demand. A lot of big tournaments that come out here, huge demand. But in terms of the poker rooms themselves, casinos haven't gone back to reopening. Some casinos lost their poker room altogether. So we haven't seen the return, but I think we will. I think eventually a lot more poker rooms will come back. All right, what do you got? Do we stop them? Are they still going?
They're still going here.
All right, pause
here.
it or fire away, buddy. Okay, ready?
Okay, I am stopping now. Okay.
5.
Let's see. 2. Improve, adapt, overcome. You are the winner.
Oh, really? Fantastic. Improve, adapt, overcome. That's kind of a military. That's a vet right there, buddy.
The winner.
That's a vet or some good construction worker. I'm not sure.
Or a motivational speaker.
Motivational speaker. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or all the above, for all we know.
All the above. A vet who is now a motivational speaker. Okay. Any more questions? And then Dave's going to take a nap. Been a long
I think we can call it a night right there.
Thank you guys very much. As always, we appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you at Casino Quest. Don't forget, we got like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of our family, and till next time. Bye.
Bye, guys. Fading to black.